Hello. Oh, there we go. Mic is working again. Why is my Discord crashing again? Or does this crash, guys? All it does is crash. Does this work? It's working. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. It's time for some skip practice, guys. It's time for some skip practice. Not saw this on, do I? Do not. I knew it. Overwatch update? Really? What they update? What they put in that channel? Okay. That's fine. That's very funny. That's very humorous. Okay, where should I go up here? We need to find a good route. I'm on tether right now, I just realized. Okay, but we need to find a good route. Good route can be like here, maybe. Land here. We need a better route. It's like here. Like I would go like. Right, and then go up to apple to here. They added the perk choice thingies. What perk choice thingies? What perk choice thingies? Where is Vogue runs? Not for a bit. Might run it sometime this season. With the new strategies. You shoot targets to get money and then buy upgrade thingies. Oh, like PvE? Hi, Ducky. Ducky, ducky, ducky. Did Anti get patched in Vogue? Well, XP bug is really good right now, so I think there's some people that might want to run, but I'm not running right now because I don't really have time. PvE upgrades, but for PvP. Okay. And now I wait for my super. And we work on some tier lists. Okay. Does anyone know? Will you guys ever run King's Fall again? Yeah, probably end of the season. Thoughts on the new dungeon? It's good. It's pretty good. Okay, guys. Does anyone know how good recycled energy is? How much energy does it give you? Is it like demo level? Or is it like... Any knowers? Any Noahs? Or is that shit poopy? Is that shit ploopy? What are we looking at? Because everything else I think I'm... Is Odyssey Sync still a thing? No, it got patched. If Compendium doesn't have info, likely nobody has info. Okay. Non-engineer, thank you. Hello, hello. Thanks for the prime. I haven't even seen it drop on any weapon. I got it on a couple weapons. I just didn't do anything with it. When run KF have a plan ready, or if you get insanely lucky and have orcs and daughter at the same time. I don't think anyone knows how to make that consistent. You know what I could do? I can go to Ido and try to get a recycled energy weapon. Yeah, I'm not really wasting any time by doing that. I'll do that right now. Ido. Go to Ido. Ido. Wait, did I go to the apartments? Uh-oh. Oh, fuck. I went to the apartments. Oh, balls. It's fine. I can fast travel. I need to visit the tablet anyway. Or do I actually? I don't have the quest on my hunter. I still haven't done the seasonal stuff for the weekly. Okay. Were there any good perks that were introduced this season? Owning is good. Reciprocity is okay. Everything else is kind of whatever. Everything else is kind of whatever. I think detonator beam works out to be like a 25, 26% overall overall damage increase. There is the tablet. What XP bug? Oh, do I need to get this on my hunter? Oh, thing. Essence. Got some essence. Cool. What do we take here? We should take... Yeah. That and harvesting material provides schedule charge. Do I care about that? Let's just do this one. Then we can do this one. Best enhancement core farm? It's the Ido farm. Ido farm is the best one. I'll show you how it's done. I'll show you. Okay, so every day Ido has, and you have to do the AFK farm too. So you need the sightline, right? If you know how to do the sightline farm, then this is part of that. Every day, Ido has different tonics that she accepts, right? And if you give her tonics, she gives you a legendary drop, and you can make like a lot of these tonics at a time. You can make like 200 at a time. So that's basically 200 dismantles, which will give you a lot of cores. I got like 2,000 cores last season by doing this. You just kind of do this. I'm gonna open like maybe 50 of these. Maybe I'll get a recycled energy weapon. Because I know at least one of the world drops has recycled energy. So we'll see. Is iterative loop still a good fusion for arc builds? I mean, I guess. It has lead volt shot, doesn't it? Like, alright. Okay. That should be enough. So a lot of that has gone to my postmaster. I think Boondoggle has recycled energy. Well, that one doesn't. I think Chorus does as well. We'll see. No, not this one. And then none of these heavy weapons have recycled. Thoughts on SAG this season? It's fine. I don't think it's amazing. The problem with SAG is it's trying to be a neutral, like, roam gameplay type of exotic, where you go around and you use it to kill enemies with your weapons and you get a damage boost. But it's competing with other exotics that are just much more useful. Like exotic class items, for example. How is the rank climb going? I've had a high win rate recently. I haven't lost a game recently. I've won like my last 5. This morning I queued up and got filled ADC and I went like 16-2. So I think League is, to me, is really just like, if I'm focused, I tend to play well. And then if I'm not focused, then sometimes I play well and sometimes I lose. So you gotta kind of, you know, strike a good balance. Why does Discord keep crashing, bro? Does anyone else have this problem where my Discord just crashes like every 2 minutes? If I'm not in a call. If I'm in a call, it's like fine. But it's annoying. Let's kind of empty my inventory a little bit here. But yeah, if you want cores, you can also pop like a world drop tonic as well while you're in the maze. That will also give you drops. But I need glimmer usually more than I need drops, so I usually just go with the glimmer tonic. Okay. You got GPU acceleration on Discord? I tried turning it off. I tried turning it back on. It doesn't do anything for me. Tried reinstalling. I tried using Canary. I tried using Pub PTB or whatever. Tried a bunch of that shit. Didn't work. Use Vencord? Nah. Drivers? I reinstalled my drivers kind of recently. Way's getting nerfed? Yeah, Sayun said the nerf is not that big though. Oh shit, okay. Please have the perk. No perk. Okay, how about this repulsor? No perk. Okay, the rest of these are not gonna have the perk. How was your midterm? It went badly, but I expected it to, so you know. Not the end of the world, I guess. Not the end of the world. Oh, that machine gun also has recycled energy. Now that I think about it. Okay, my engrams are full now, so I kind of need to... I can just dump some, actually. I don't really need exotic engrams. Dump a 2009 one. What do you study? That midterm was a machine learning midterm. Okay, well, that should be good enough for now, because I'm not going to get any other engrams that are of that kind. Let me actually just get rid of everything in my inventory, so I need to think too much. Badly isn't not a high score. Badly isn't maybe fail. Where you can't really like fail a midterm. I can fail the course if the rest of my grades are bad enough. I think I did very poorly on the midterm. I don't think it will cause me to fail the course, though. If that's what you're asking. I did very poorly though, because I essentially didn't study because I was helping my day one team during day one, and I just like didn't study. I basically just went to make sure I don't get a 0 on the midterm because the professor said that she would not allow me to skip it for day one. So I just went to like make sure I don't get a 0, which I know I got at least one question right, so I didn't get a 0. Imagine your major is statistics, your spreadsheets are immaculate. Not a big stats guy, as weird as that sounds. I did AP Stat in high school. I did very well in AP Stat, but not really my thing in terms of long-term stuff.
Oh, hi, Jess, I'm curious to know if chill inhibitor is dead for boss DPS, or is it still solid? Also, how does chill compare to Heezen? Are rockets back? And finally, would Warlock be the easiest?
It just cuts off. Okay. By the way, can you guys hear the alerts text? The what is it? The TTS. Can you guys hear that? I can hear it, but I don't know if you can. Okay, you can. All right, good, good. If chill inhibitor is dead for boss DPS, not really. It's just like more annoying. I don't know. I think the heavy jail nerf was pretty like unwarranted because heavy jails already kind of have total damage problems, and like their DPS is obviously good, but it wasn't like game breakingly good. Are rockets back? Yeah, definitely. For team settings, like once Lord of Wolves gets nerfed, which it will, then Hezen will be really good for like solid teams. I think overall the damage meta is getting healthier over time. I just don't think GLs really needed to be nerfed. Would Warlock be the easiest class for solo flawless on the most recent dungeon? I think you can get away with playing any class on the most recent dungeon because first encounter is like obviously Titan will probably do it the fastest, but you can play any class really. And then second encounter, I mean, you can just go for like a safe like micro phase, like just put kill in like an early slot and just go for a quick damage phase so you don't get ad spawning. And then obviously it's pretty manageable to survive in that arena. It's pretty large and there's a lot of places you can hide. And then and damage is like not too hard on any of the classes really. Obviously Titan's the best, but you know. And then final boss is also like if you play it safe and you don't like ego damage while the fire is out, like I don't think you're gonna have too much trouble dying. I mean, you can be on any class. I mean, I would say unless you're genuinely like equally competent on all three classes, you can kind of just play whatever you're comfortable on. I mean, Warlock I feel like well during damage is obviously pretty safe, but you can get it done on any class really.
How was the test that you wrote, sis?
Not that good, but it's okay. I expected it to go badly. You know. I don't really care too much about my grades. Care more about just, you know, learning stuff that I'm interested in. Holy lag. Best Witch Queen exotic? Like armor exotic or weapon exotic? What's your favorite class currently? I don't know if I have a favorite class. I tend to play a lot of Hunter though, because speedrunning these days requires a lot of Hunter. What's the meta DPS super and weapon loadout right now, or do we not know that yet? Meta DPS super is probably why did my Streamlabs alerts page just crash? Okay, whatever. Yeah, Custom G, thanks for the gift sub. Let me see here. DPS Super, I mean, DPS Super is probably just T-Crash. If you're on Titan, I mean, just generally, it's kind of just T-Crash. And then loadout, I mean, it's just Hezen. Just Hezen. I'm gonna figure out, like, what's the best, like, weapons to use with Hezen. But, besides that, yeah, they're kind of just Hezen. USMG any good? The one I just dismantled? Boondoggle? No, that's pretty bad. For PV. Pretty bad. I think it's for PvP, it might be interesting. I saw some clips. People hip firing it. Weapon and hunter armor exotic. I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember what the armor exotics were during Witch Queen. Weapon, I also don't remember what weapons were introduced during Witch Queen specifically. I remember Parasite was introduced during Witch Queen. That one's pretty good. I can go through collections and take a look. Witch Queen feels like yesterday, but also feels like a long time ago. Okay, so these are in order of release, right? Witch Queen was Osteostriga. I guess Touch of Malice came out during Witch Queen. Oh, is it just these two in this lot? Yeah, I guess it's just these two. I mean, neither of these are that great. Osteo was decent on release, but it got nerfed a lot. What else? That's Beyond Light. That's Beyond Light. That's Beyond Light. That's right. Wait, no, these aren't Beyond Light. What am I saying? That's Beyond Light. That's Beyond Light. That is Beyond Light. That's Beyond Light. These are Witch Queen. That's Witch Queen. That's Witch Queen. I don't know when these came out. None of these are that good, honestly. And then power weapons. That's Beyond Light. That's Beyond Light. That's Beyond Light. That's Beyond Light. This is Witch Queen. I think this is also Witch Queen. I think this is also Witch Queen. And that's Lightfall. Yeah, it's probably Parasite. Probably Parasite. And then Hunter Armor Exotic. Oh, these are not in order of release. That's for sure. Oh, wait. Maybe they are in order of release. Yeah, they're in order of release, but they're different slots, right? Okay. That came out during Witch Queen. And that's Lightfall. Blight Ranger. It kind of sucks. What else? Renewal. That was... Renewal's pretty good. Renewal. I like Renewal. Renewal's good. Did Caliban come out during Witch Queen? Maybe Caliban did. Okay. So... I low-key like Renewal more than I like Caliban right now in terms of like the base exotics, to be honest. And then chest exotics. That's definitely not Witch Queen. That's not Witch Queen either. Falcons might be Witch Queen. Falcons was pretty decent when it came out. Pretty volatile nerf. That's pretty decent. RDMs, I think that's Beyond Light. That's Lightfall. This might be Witch Queen then. I don't know. For Hunter Armor Exotic, it's probably like Falcons or Renewal. Probably. Do you think Elemental Honing has any use on Psychopomp for swap DPS? Yeah, you would take Envious Elemental. Yeah, it's basically like a lost signal. Yeah. Thank you, Mitch. Appreciate that. You think the defibrillating blast heal is going to get changed? Is that the artifact mod? I haven't paid too much attention to the last column of the artifacts. Is that this one? Triggers an arc bolt that heals you. Does it like heal you to full? I mean, that doesn't sound that OP. It's just stunning a champ, right? This is only champ content. I mean, it'd be good for GMs, maybe. Good for GMs.
Voldemort donated $3. Would you also say that Chaos Reach is viable now for non-burst DPS settings? The build is pretty cracked now and Bog got a solo 2-phase with it.
Yeah.
Last question, but Necrochasm great for exotic primary ad.
Okay, I can't see the rest of the message because my freaking one sec. How do I can't even refresh it. Oh wait. Okay, there we go. I can read it now. Necrochasm great for exotic primary ad clear. I think most people in the endgame community don't think it's that good, but there's some people who kind of swear by it and they think it's pretty good. I think it's fine. It's just kind of in the middle, right? It's an auto rifle, has the disadvantages of an auto rifle, but if you can get some kill chaining going with it, it's pretty good. I think Kvostov is kind of more on hit, and so it's more generally applicable. And then what else? Chaos Reach for non-burst DPS settings. I mean, it has decent total damage. I think the actual DPS is not that good. It's not terrible. I mean, if you want to play Arc Warlock, yeah, I would definitely take Chaos Reach over Storm Trance. And I know the Geomag Ionic Trace thing is pretty good. I don't know. It's like a decent ad clear build, but like I really don't think Arc Warlock is that Warlock in general doesn't really have any builds that are like as good in terms of raw survivability and healing and like ability output compared to Hunter and Titan. But dude, Discord is so annoying. But yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's not only champs. Bolt charge just procs it. Wait, so just like getting a max stack detonation on a target just makes it heal you?
07.
Okay, that's pretty stupid. Yeah, that should be probably patched. 55 HP on any bolt charge. Yeah, that should probably get patched. That's kind of stupid. Mark Top. Thank you for the prime. Vesper Radius with Arc Warlock is maybe still correct. I mean, with the Chaos Reach buffs, I think you should probably run Geomag. SE skip category? Nah. I'm just practicing my skip to third room for my repository role. I just want to recycle energy weapon, man. Okay, that machine gun might have it. I'm gonna go down to 100 tonics. Our mitters are alright. They're just okay. Is time loss isn't worth it compared to normal? Not really. Not necessary. Are you having the same issue with Discord crashing and restarting on its own? Yeah. Dude, I'm getting so much lag on redeems. Make Lucky Pants great again. I mean, you got a new thingy.
Warlock has insane survival. I'm not sure why you rank Warlock so low on that category when Getaway Bleak is still one of the best in game and Song of Flame is God mode for 20 seconds. It seems insane to me.
Okay, well, first of all, I really don't. I think Song of Flame is one of the most overrated supers in the game. The damage is pretty poor. The ad clear is not that good. If you use any of its abilities, you tank its duration, right? So you kind of, if you want to use it for damage, you can't really use any of the abilities because otherwise, if it's like a 30-second damage phase, Song lasts like what, like 28 or something if you don't do anything at all. So you kind of have to not use it for anything, right? And then you're kind of just like, I don't know. You have a lot of DR because it's a roaming super, but that's kind of, it's just a roaming super where you're able to shoot your weapons, which is like, I don't think that's that valuable. And then Getaway Bleak is still one of the... Okay, so the problem I have with Getaway Bleak Watcher build, it's not like a huge problem. Because like in most content, it's not going to matter. But I do think it's... I've said this before, but I've watched people play that build. And I just don't think it has... So, okay, one of the reasons why Hunter and Titan are so good... Hunter specifically, if there's not like a lot of ads around, but you have some chunky targets around that you need to kill occasionally, and then Titan's really good when you have like big swarms of ads, is because both of them have the ability to, when you're like you know how people like panic super when they're like low HP or something, because the supers give you DR and then you kill whatever's in front of you. Titan and Hunter both have that ability, just like on basic abilities, right? You can, like Titan, if you're low HP or there's like a bunch of stuff shooting you right in front of you, you have the option to just nuke everything in front of you and then get a bunch of health back, right? And then Hunter is kind of the same, where like you can dodge, you get a shit ton of DR in your dodge because of Winter Shroud, and then you melee something and you get like basically all your health back and you go invisible, right? Whereas Warlock does not have that. Warlock is very gradual, very sustained playstyle. If you're the type of person who's like sitting very far away from the enemies, just chilling, letting your abilities do the work for you, I get it. It's totally fine. It will do work. Like it does produce output, but it's like very slow, sustained output in terms of ability damage to minors, elites, whatever you're ad clearing. Okay, so the other problem I have with Warlock is that sustain, it's enhanced devour, right? It's Feed the Void devour, so it's very good. But you still need, like, your abilities are not capable. Like, let's say there's like a mini boss in front of you and you're playing Warlock. You can't kill a mini boss very easily on Warlock unless you like Nova it or something, right? You have Lightning Surge, which is again like not part of the Getaway Bleak build that you're mentioning. You have turrets, which will like chip away at it, right? And then you have your weapons. So you can use your weapons to nuke the mini boss down. But it just doesn't have the same kind of instant, like in a flash kind of splash ad clear that Hunter and Titan have. That's the problem I have with Prismatic Warlock, which I think a lot of people are not able to like make that tangible or like explain why that's an issue. That's why Warlock is less preferred than Titan and Hunter. Like a good example is like Day One Sunder Doctrine, right? In that encounter, in the first encounter where you had a time limit, right? Warlock is just not able to kill something like a subjugator surrounded by attendants or scions or whatever, or like weavers, faster than a Titan and Hunter can. It's a significant difference too, right? Unless you Nova it, like you use your super or whatever, you just cannot kill the subjugator at the same speed as like a Hunter or Titan. Which is, you know, it's not not wonderful, not great. I mean, I think Hunter obviously, the thing about Hunter is that you kind of have to keep stacks up, so it's kind of in the middle, right? It still requires some upkeep. And then Titan is just like, you can just rock up and just slam and they're all dead. Like you don't, there's no like preamble, you know? Yeah, that's just the main thing with Warlock. And like, listen, trust me, if Well wasn't in the game, like serious endgame players, I don't think they would really take Warlock into day ones for the most part, because it doesn't really offer that much. Like, I remember quite fondly, it's sarcastic, but I remember when I think it was when Song of Flame first came out. Maybe it was SE day one. Yeah, I think it was SE day one, and like I got a bunch of like commenters who were like saying that because Well got nerfed, like I was really stupid for saying that like Warlock's main value is still gonna be Well, and that like Song of Flame was like so much of a better super, and like here we are like, well, like I don't know, like a year, 6-9 months later, something like that, and it's just like what I said is true. It's still Well. Like in team settings, you should still be taking Well, because what people don't understand is that like yes, Well was very good for face tanking bosses before its nerf, and obviously it provides much less DR now, and you don't get tier 3 like hidden tier 3 restoration anymore. It's just tier 2. But the thing about Well is that like it is just brain dead. It's just brain dead, right? Like it's like it just creates a zone of safety for you and your teammates. Now the zone of safety is like a little less safe now, but like that doesn't change its value. Like it's just a zone of safety where you're guaranteed a 25% buff for 30 seconds and now a 20% buff for like 8-12 seconds after that. And then you're guaranteed a little bit of DR and you're guaranteed resto healing, right? Song of Flame does not provide that. It does not provide that at all, right? Also, people are under the impression that Song of Flame gives Radiant to your allies. At least according to Compendium, it does not. It gives you Radiant for its entire duration. It doesn't give Radiant to your allies. So that's why when I run a normal raid and like someone pops like Song of Flame on Witness, I'm like, it's kind of a waste of a super. You're not like contributing anything to your team. Like you're giving them ability regen, which is like, sure, fine. That's decent. You're giving them DR, which is like, I mean, Well healing is essentially like DR in its own way, as long as you're not getting one shot, right? And then it's also provides its own DR, but it's like a little bit less. And then you're giving your allies scorching rounds, which is like, okay, right? So, yeah. Even if they deleted Well, you'd still want a Warlock as a Speaker Sight. Yeah, but Speaker Sight doesn't its restoration effect is like not like that strong. Like it's fine, but I feel like people just take Speaker Sight on Warlock because it is there. It's like an option, you know? Honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. Like I when I've played Warlock on day ones, like I've generally just stayed on Senno, and like I've generally just stayed on Senno, and like my teammates, like I throw healing nades at them when they need them. But I don't know. Speaker Sight, I feel like people just take it because it's there. Like Warlock has benevolence, and you don't play Solar Hunter or Solar Titan on day one anymore. So it's like, you know, it's the only class that still has benevolence. You know, I feel like people just, yeah. I mean, it got nerfed too. Yeah, I mean, it's a sustain option, and like people like, I think the big thing that people need to like, well, not need to, but I think it would help them conceptualize things better, is like you need to look at the raw output of what your build is actually doing, right? Like a lot of people will read descriptions of what their abilities are doing or see synergy between two things on their build and be like, wow, this must be really strong. but they don't pay attention to like what is actually happening on your screen. Like what are you doing for your teammates that's actually helpful, and what are you doing to the enemies that's actually helpful, you know? It's like Hunter. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like the speaker side is nice and everything, and like sometimes a healing nade can be kind of clutch. But like a competent Hunter or Titan player is perfectly capable of sustaining themselves. Which is one of my problems with Warlock is that like you kind of have small issues with sustaining yourself, especially when you're dealing with like chunkier targets. So yeah. My team got 230th SC and ran 3 locks on second, 1 well, and 2 songs for DR. I mean, there's plenty of teams that just ran 1 well or 2 wells and just no song in SE. And also, Herald is like one of the least... I'm going to be honest. Like, Herald is one of the least dangerous encounters when it comes to boss damage. Obviously, before the encounter, there's a lot of combat and, you know, knights and attendants and whatever shooting you. But, like, during damage, nothing spawns during Herald damage. It's just the boss. And all the boss does is throw his little, you know, taking thingies at you. Maybe he'll stomp you a little if you're using swords. If you're not using swords, the most annoying thing the boss will do is TP in front of a rocket or something if you're shooting like an explosive weapon at him. You know? How do Warlocks circumvent the issue of not having the ability to kill beefier enemies easily? I mean, that's why I was like, you know, you could try running Lightning Surge. You know? Syntho Lightning Surge, it does a decent chunk to majors and mini bosses. It's not going to be as much as like a Hunter combination blow like melee that's boosted by like you know, stylish or something. Can you give an example of a strong Hunter build for endgame content that can sustain itself? Yeah, it's in my day 1 video. And people like the world's first team, like if you watch Biggs, he's essentially, I mean, he was running Caliban, but there's plenty of people who are essentially doing his role and doing like totally fine. It's very hard to die on Hunter if you have like, people say combination blow is not really like reliable in like, well, some people say that. I don't think most people say that, but if you're like a competent player and like you can start up stylish pretty easily on Hunter, even with just weapons, if you're not close to an enemy and just build up combination blow, it's like you have like 4 sources of DR on Hunter. Hunter has like the most DR sources that you can stack at a time, I think, on Prismatic consistently compared to Titan and Warlock. So obviously, you know, your melee is not going to be as explosive as a Titan, and it's not like, you know, your ad clear is going to be as potent, but yeah, it's Hoyle Cert. It's Hoyle Cert, combination blow, you know, Winter Shroud, stylish. It's the classic. RDN, thanks for the prime.
Voldemort
Wait, honest.
donated $3.
Thanks for the subs.
Wouldn't Hoyle/Synthos class item make Lightning Surge be insane for contest stuff now with that 30% buff plus enhanced Devour? I feel like it's pretty close to Consecration now after the nerf.
Yeah, they're not that far away from each other. I mean, obviously Consecration, if you have multiple enemies near each other, you know, the ignition kind of scales. And I mean, Titan is knockout as well, which is nice. But yeah, I mean, that's why I said, like, on day 1, if you're on Prismatic Warlock and or if you're on Warlock and you're not in like an encounter where you should be on well, then you know, try Lightning Surge instead of turret build. And like I got some messages from people who were like, yeah, you know, this worked pretty well for me. So I mean, it's ultimately, honestly, like our sandbox is to the point where like ultimately, as long as you are able to like, you know, generate ammo for your team and you have a well during damage and, you know, you're able to defeat priority targets in like a decent amount of time, you can play whatever you want. Like you can play turret build, you can play, you know, Oil Syntho Lightning Surge, you can just play normal like Solar Warlock. It doesn't matter that much. Honestly, on day 1, I think the only thing that matters is that you have 1 or 2 Warlocks for well, depending on the encounter. And then the other shit that you play doesn't really matter, honestly. I mean, Solar Warlock, I do think it is, in terms of like roam encounters, like first encounter in SC is very bad, to be honest with you. But besides that, because I think these days for like day 1s, Bungie is moving more and more in the direction of, if it's not a boss encounter, a lot of the puzzle encounters involve people either having some sort of time limitation mechanic, so like a timer for contest on dungeon day 1s, or some sort of like just pressure. And like Solar Warlock does not have the ability to especially if you're supposed to be on Senno, does not have the ability to relieve that pressure anywhere near as close as well as Hunter and Titan. And the big thing with Hunter and Titan too is that Hunter and Titan, on their ad clear subclasses that are actually good, they have their essential day one bread and butter supers, right? Because Prismatic Titan has T-Crash, and then it has Glacial, which is also potentially relevant day one super. It has Twilight Arsenal. 3 excellent supers for a day one scenario. And then you have Hunter, which has Golden Gun, it has Tether. Those are essentially the 2 supers you're going to run on day one, right? And then there's Warlock, which on Prismatic has like 3 roaming supers or something. And then you don't have Well. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of annoying. Also, I really wish they would revert the Empyrean nerf. It's just so not needed. Like they nerfed Empyrean by a lot, and then they immediately released Prismatic, which just eclipsed anything Empyrean was able to do to begin with. So I don't know why they nerfed Empyrean. I hope they undo that nerf. Quite cringe. Quite cringe. No, they did put Empyrean nerf in the patch notes, but they nerfed it twice. The second nerf they put in the patch notes. Yeah, paper, like, again, it really just, like, you just need the ability to, like, look at an encounter and see what's needed. That's it. I just think Warlock's, like, the menu that you have it's, you know, it's not amazing. It's not amazing. Very weapon reliant as well to deal with, like, mini bosses. What about it got nerfed? It's a really hard to, the amount of timer extension that you get on Empyrean now per kill is way less. So for like Sunbracers, you might notice that like you'll throw 4 nades at ad spawns, and then, you know, obviously in this game usually there's like time between ad spawns, and in the time between your ad spawns your resto is gone. Like it's a big difference that you'll notice if you play Sunbracers. Like I don't play Sunbracers anymore because of that reason. Like the 5 nade nerf was not actually the Sunbracers problem. The problem with Sunbracers was the
Isn't Nova Bomb still cracked? It's $1 million for 1 super.
Nova Bomb is fine. It's fine. I just the thing about Warlock is that, like, if you're going to pick Warlock to have a damage super and to enable damage, aren't Titan and Hunter just better, right? Aren't Titan and Hunter just better? Because just by being on Prism, like, if you here's my main point, right? Like, if you want to have good ad clear, you kind of have to be on Prismatic, right? You kind of Prismatic or Arc, or like just basically just not Solar, right? Like Solar Warlock doesn't have really strong major burst or just minor ad clear options compared to before, especially if you want to run something like Speakers. If you're not running like Sunbracers or like, I don't know, Mantle with like a strong Solar weapon or something, like you're not going to have good ad clear potential, right? And so if you're going to run Prismatic so you can have ad clear access, right, you're then not running Well. And it's just like, you know? So you think at the highest level, Warlock is actually just a Well launcher? I mean, the more and more I play day ones on Warlock, the more it feels like that. Yeah, kind of. For the viable Hunter exotics, obviously class items, but is anything else worth running? I know Gifted is kind of good. Yeah, Gifted is good. It's like I said, like Hunter has a lot of good DR sources. Gifted is one of them. But you know, that's kind of up to you. ATP was kind of frontlining for his team in like second encounter when I was scouting. I watched him. He was playing Gifted. It looks pretty good. I usually play Warlock. I tried Prismatic Titan recently, and it was so much easier for so much more payout. Yeah, it's just brain dead. Like, it's the biggest thing about day one is, like, in that kind of, like, you know, high pressure combat environment, you want something that's just like, it's super brain dead, super easy to survive. And, you know, Prismatic Titan just fits that bill. You know, it's just so easy to nuke an entire, like, you know, there's like no mechanics involved. You slide and you melee, and then press melee again, and then like half a room is dead. You know. Have you updated the meta builds on Excel sheet? I love your builds, easy to follow. The day one builds are updated. Those will probably remain relevant for like at least maybe 6 more months or something like that. And then the other stuff, like the builds tab, is not updated. That hasn't been updated in maybe like a year or something. It's very old. When running combination blow and hunter, is it a must run? Okay, I'm assuming, do you need to run a 1-2 punch shotgun? That's basically what you're asking. Not really. No, not really. Honestly, if I was on a hunter in like a day one, let's say you're heavy. Okay, a lot of the time you're running an exotic heavy weapon, right? So let's say you have an exotic heavy weapon and then you have two more things, right? Building Transcendence is nice because it's like kind of like a super pop because you get 25% DR when you're Transcendent, right? So that's kind of nice. So maybe you run Lost Signal, right?
Donated $3.
Or you can run like another area denial in your energy slot. And then the other thing, I mean, I don't know. A lot of the time you need like a trace or like a rocket sidearm in day ones to like shoot objectives. So you could run something like that. Like I think a lot of people were running like something like Tinashe and VS Velocity Baton, right? That's like a pretty good loadout with an exotic heavy. I would say Prismatic, just kind of form fit your loadout to the encounter and the weaknesses of your build, right? So Prismatic Hunter, one of its weaknesses is if you want to get stacked, you have to go in melee range of the ads, right? So run something that can proc stylish for you, right? So whether that's like Winter Shroud dodging near an enemy and shooting it, or like a chill clip sidearm, that will do it. Destabilizing rounds, area denial, that will also do it, right? Something that can get your stylish going. And then once you have stylish and you're near the ads, you will one-shot a red bar because stylish is already a melee multiplier. You don't even need Sento, right? So, do you think Facet of Courage is mandatory for day one environments? The funny thing about Prismatic is that like not half, like a third of the fragments are really, really good. They're like really, really good. And then the other 2/3 are like, you would almost never use them, right? Like, let me give you an example, actually. Let me just show you, right? So Facet of Dawn, really good. Facet of Balance it's fine, right? You could live without it. Facet of Protection, really good. Facet of Courage, it's like free damage boost on your abilities. So your combination blow, for example, does more damage because you Winter Shroud your enemies. I don't have Winter Shroud on, but you know what I mean. Your super, generally, like as long as you're able to Darkness debuff an enemy, which is pretty easy to do, free 10% extra damage. Facet of Courage, you almost never get ability damage boost on fragments, so it's good, right? And then the sacrifice is just kind of a filler fragment here, right? And then so you have stuff like Courage. Let me just go off the list here, right? So you have Courage, you have Dawn, you have Resistance, you have potentially Purpose, and then you would run Ruin, I guess, on Titan, or like Dominance on Warlock. And then everything else here is kind of like whatever. Like everything else here is kind of whatever. Like why is it whatever? Like fragments like Facet of Blessing are generally not really relevant because you have like Combination Blow heals you. On Titan, you have Knockout, which heals you. On Warlock, you have Devour, which heals you. So it's like, Blessing doesn't really do that much. Same thing with Mending. Like, originally I was like, okay, maybe I'll do like a grapple melee thing, or like Grenade Final Blows will cure me. But then you literally have, like, on the only Prismatic class where you would consistently be getting grenade kills for this to be relevant, you have Devour. So like half these fragments don't do anything. So you may as well run Courage, is what I'm saying. Like, you may as well run Courage. Like, honestly, I think most of the fragments on Prismatic are not like, they're already, like, Prismatic is so overloaded with, like, shit, like Restoration, Devour, blah, 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 that you don't really need any of those things. The one thing Prismatic is missing, the one, like, subclass effect that it's missing consistently from all of its subclasses is Radiant. So then you have Dawn, right? But, like, the other shit is, like, not really needed. Blessing indirectly got better because Combination Blow doesn't start health regen. Sure. I mean, honestly, like, there's like 3 core fragments on Prismatic that every single subclass should be taking, and then the other 2 are just, you can change them out, and like, you're not gonna notice that much. You can run Blessing, sure, right? Like, so the thing is, like, Courage is like a high impact fragment that you're actually, like, you know, it's good. So like, you may as well run that. Do you plan on making that build for every exotic video at some point? It's just, I don't know, maybe this summer when I'm out of school. I don't have time right now. On what primary do you think destabilizing rounds are good? Any primary that gets destabilizing rounds is going to be good, as long as it's like a decent and not like horrible archetype. Like a 180 scout with destabilizing rounds would feel pretty shit in most encounter engagement ranges these days. But yeah, okay, sorry, I didn't read the dono message. Let me do that. Bungie's hinted that they will probably have to nerf Consecration again, blah, 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 blah. If that happens, do you think we see a major change in meta? Lightning Surge could easily take the top spot then. Consecration would have to be nerfed like quite a bit for it to not be good, but it would suck for Titans because, like, let's say Consecration gets like insanely nerfed to the point where it's basically only able to one-shot red bars. I mean, you'd still run it, to be honest, because the other Titan builds suck. Like Diamond Lance is like, even after its changes, it's like a melee range-ish CC build, which is like really stupid to be honest. What else did Titan even get? I guess Unbreakable is interesting, but like Unbreakable is like, it's almost raw defensive potential, raw defensive potency in like a sandbox where that's not really that valuable, especially from a Titan. I don't know what the other thing Titan gets is. Because it gets what? Knockout, Consecration, Diamond Lance, Breakable, and then something. It gets not Into the Fray, not Banner of War. Does it get Fleshit Storm? Did they give Fleshit Storm? Wait, they gave they gave Prismatic Titan Fleshit Storm, really? Okay, that's pretty bad too. Oh, it's Drangers. Okay, I mean Drangers. Okay, listen. The thing is, Drangers and like Drangers is not terrible. Like Drangers is not horrible, honestly. But like when Prismatic Titan first came out, I was like theory crafting some builds with like Prismatic Titan on Drangers. And I think it's okay, but like it's again, like Titan is good because of its explosive raw melees. And, like anything less than that is going to feel like shit. So. Are Hunters the most diverse class for good endgame builds? Maybe.
Overrated? If I see that aspect one more time on people, I'm gonna vomit. It's only busted on Lockset, otherwise it seems so LFG dad meme level.
I think it's being carried by the artifact mod this season, to be honest. I will do more testing on it. Like later, I'll probably make maybe not a solo video on it, but I'll probably do some testing because I do want to see how much it increases DPS on like high fire rate weapons. Like maybe like Thunderlord would be a good pick. I'll probably just get like 6 Titans and we'll just shoot Thunderlord like normally, and then you know what? Here's what I'll do. I'll do some testing where we do like 1 barricade, 2 barricade, 3 barricade, 4 barricade, 5 barricade, 6 barricade. I think that would be. I think maybe you guys would like that. Yeah, that might be interesting. I'm not gonna end up dumping all these tonics, bro, because I haven't gotten a recycled energy weapon yet. What's the damage difference between Lightning Surge and Consecration? It is. So my Lightning Surge tests like were kind of low value, so I'm not sure. But you can check in the spreadsheet. It's in the abilities tab. You'll see it there. But I do think my Lightning Surge value in that tab is like a little bit low, potentially. What are some of the best ways to create a support Titan? I feel like nothing I try works all too well. Ursa feels terrible. I'm not going to lie, in this game, the sandbox has moved drastically towards supporting player independence. Prismatic has given every single subclass, or every single class, I should say, the ability to kind of hold their own and just like have nice effects like Restoration and Devour and like what have you. And so because all these classes have this access to like all this healing and all this shit, support has, I don't think it was ever needed, to be honest, in Destiny for the most part. But it's even less so these days. Everyone can kind of play independently. And that's a valuable thing though. It's not a bad thing. Like it's a valuable thing to have, right? Every class should be able to hold their own in like a room in like Final Encounter in SD, right? Like everyone should be able to handle themselves. I mean, if you actually wanted to play support, I don't know, like maybe, yeah, Unbreakable Ursa is probably decent. I mean, you can run like Controlled Demo with buffed volatile uptime from different weapons and stuff. I don't know if Titan really has the best support capability. Okay, let's go to the tower and see what my haul has. What is an actual good build for Senno/Solar that can kill majors? If you're on Senno Solar, you're kind of shit out of luck. I'm not going to lie to you. But you can certainly run... Double Special is pretty safe to run on Senno, I'm not going to lie, especially if you pick 2 add clear efficient weapons. I do think one of those weapons should probably be Repulsor Destabilizing Velocity. And then your other weapon, I mean... I don't know what you can run. You can run like a Tinashe or something, I don't know. Like a Blinding Gale. I was running like Blinding Gale and like Velocity on day 1. What are you trying to get that's warranted being Ido Prestige 45? Oh, it's just core farm, you know. I don't even farm this that often. I have a friend that's almost 100 resets. So, you know, I'm not a real grinder compared to some people out there. Oh, that's not good. Sorry. Is Anarchy good again? Well, it got nerfed actually, but people are using it because it synergizes well with Full Charge. Dude, look at that shuffling. Just goes back in. Goes right back in. Can you explain why you value Repulsor so much? I mean, like, it's like, what else are you going to take in that slot? Really? It's not that I value Repulsor like a lot. It's just that like sources of Void Overshield are not super common in this game, I guess. Oh, that was a good roll, wasn't it? Oh, well, whatever. Was that a heavy GL that I just meant? I think it was a pulse. Oh, whatever. It's fine. But yeah, you can run demo, you can run repulsor. It doesn't matter that much, you know. Like, I don't think it's gonna make the difference between you surviving or not. It's just nice, you know. I don't think like I think repulsor and attrition are equally like realistically like unnoticeable, sort of. As in like neither of them are super important to take. Are Mask of Fealty builds good? I have only used Mask of Fealty in a speedrunning context to make Dusk Fields when you melee, or the little crystals. So I'm not the right person to ask about that. I've never tried to make an actual build with Mask of Fealty. Although I will say, I do think Renewal is probably Stasis Hunter's strongest build. Because like you can have pretty much 100% Dusk Field uptime, and the Dusk Fields are fucking huge. They're fucking huge. What do you think best Word of Crota column 3 perk is paired with destabilizing? Doesn't it have repulsor? Probably just repulsor, right? Oh, Mask of Fealty with prismatic. What does it even do on prismatic? I'm not sure. All I know is you melee and it makes a crystal. I don't know what else it does. I saw above talking about it saying it was meta. Maybe. Can't imagine it being better than a prismatic hunter with like Hoyle Syntho or like Hoyle Cert or Caliban Lyre. Oh, it has Dragonflight too, doesn't it? In the first column? Yeah, that'd be good too. I was trying to do something with Vex Caliber. Oh yeah, Vex Caliber is good this season actually. I do like Vex Caliber. Am I full on Glimmer? No, not yet. Sorry guys, boring content today, you know, dismantling. Honestly, I wasn't gonna do this for this long originally, but I got a lot of questions, so you know, doing something passive I don't have to think about while I answer some questions. Haven't played since the first episode. Any major meta changes or something I need to know about before coming back? Farm for Vogue weapons, I guess. I'm gonna be honest, none of the seasonal weapons are that good. I think some YouTubers are saying like some of them are good. None of them are that good. You have... I'm trying to think of a single bright spot from the season's weapons. Yeah, no. I don't know. I can't think of one. I mean, Psycho Pump is fine. I do think Velocity is better overall, which makes sense because it's a dungeon weapon, but, you know. Jolting Feedback LMG. Yeah, it's fine. It's alright. I don't think that's insanely impressive either, though, to be honest. Arc Area Denial. Yeah, I think it's worse than Velocity. When I say like a game changing, I mean like hesitant game changing. I mean like a weapon that is like top of the end game meta and something that you should be farming ASAP. I wouldn't say any of the weapons this season are something you should be farming ASAP. Different slot support auto. That's cool. I don't think it's like important, like insanely important. I'm not gonna lie to you. The strand support auto is probably most important for speedrunners and not like average players. Like it's not important. Like it's more important. Okay, thank you. Whatever. I guess I am restarting my game and probably verifying files. Very awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Lovely little marmot. Isn't Elemental better than Reshaped? Yeah, Elemental is what Reshaped wants to be. Yo, can you close my game, please? Can I have my game closed, please? Please. Thank you. Okay. Well, this gives us a